Hey everybody, welcome back to the family channel.
Hello.
As you can see, it's just the two of us today because it's
Friday.
Yep, and Garen got some new Bauer inline skates so he can practice his hockey on the tarmac. So he's actually out and about today, which is awesome because since he's moved to his new school, he doesn't go out as much, does he?
No, he stopped hanging around with the
Village
friends
kids.
from the village. I don't know why, but today he was very excited. He put his new skates on and he's off. So hopefully he'll be reconnecting with his friends.
I hope so, because it was nice when he had mates close by. Because he's got loads of mates, just not locally anymore since he moved schools. Yeah. And of course, Leia is shopping in town again. She loves it. I don't know why. There's not much in our town, but she loves it. And as long as she's having a good time, that's all that matters. Yeah. Anyway, today we are reacting to Why Nobody Lives in Alaska. And this video was chosen by
me.
Because Kat is obsessed with Alaska.
I love Alaska.
We are very excited. They are installing fiber optic cables locally, and which are being activated when?
1st of June.
1st of June, which means we can change our television, satellite, or whatever we've got at the moment, package, and we can get Discovery.
Yay!
And we can start watching Alaskan Bush People. Not Alaskan Bush People, I didn't like that one. What was the other one with the Kilchers?
The Alaskan Last Frontier.
Alaska, the Last Frontier, and the Last Alaskans.
Yeah,
and Naked and Afraid is something else we enjoyed.
And Naked and Afraid. I mean, like, to be honest with you, when we used to live in England, we only had Discovery Channel.
That's right. We always used to watch it. And Nat Geo.
So, yeah.
Anyway, we waffle quite a lot. Before we get into today's video, if you guys haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Without further ado, let's check out Why Nobody Lives in Alaska, which I don't think is a true statement.
This is Alaska, and this is the United Kingdom, Germany, Japan, and France. All major world powers with gross domestic products in the trillions and at least 65 million residents each. Here's the thing though, the state of Alaska isn't just larger than each of these powerful nations individually. No, it's about 12.5% larger than all four of them combined.
Wow.
In fact, Alaska is only smaller than 15 of the world's 193 UN recognized countries. So you may be thinking that Alaska should have a population similar to nations like the United Kingdom, not just its fellow US states, when that couldn't be further from the truth. Because while Alaska is more than 6 times the size of the United Kingdom, for instance, its population of 736,000 residents is about 98% small.
736,000 residents? Slovakia's got more people, which is crazy because Slovakia is only 6 million. Well, 5 point something.
Crazy. I didn't realize how big it is.
Yes, I knew it was big, but I didn't realize the population was quite low. Sorry, we've got Lucifer still flying around in our room. I killed his brother, but he's next. But yeah, it's massive, eh?
Yeah.
And they're all at space as well. That's why they can do so much, because it's so sparsely populated. I mean, you can...
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And even the relatively modest state of Pennsylvania has a population that outnumbers Alaska's by about 20-fold, meaning that Alaska has a population more in line with moderately popular U.S. cities than nations or powerhouse states, with just the city core of San Antonio having a population that about doubles the entire massively sized state of Alaska. To understand why that is and how Alaska has so few residents, especially for a state of its considerable size, we should rewind back through Alaskan history so that we can properly evaluate this predicament it finds itself in today. The history of modern Alaska started when the United States purchased it from Russia for $7.2 million in 1867. Now, Alaska hadn't yet become a state back then. No, it was known as the Territory of Alaska all the way up until January 3rd, 1959, when Alaska and Hawaii, surprisingly enough, became the 49th and 50th U.S. states, respectively. Of course, a lot happened in that 92 years between Alaska's purchase and its statehood, though. Gold was discovered in 1880.
There we go. That's when it all happened. And then when oil's also discovered. Alaska's got oil as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
Incorporated in 1900. Fairbanks was incorporated in 1903. Anchorage was founded in 1915. Denali National Park was created just 2 years later in 1917. The Alaskan Railroad was completed in 1923. And the Alaska Highway System was built in 1942. And while that isn't an exhaustive list of Alaska's modern history, it does provide a strong overview of the state's initial settlement and rising importance. And well, as they say, the show must go on. Because frankly, I would argue that what's happened in Alaska since its statehood is even more important. That's because oil was first discovered in Alaska just 2 years before it became a U.S. state, permanently altering Alaska's role in American society. See, while oil was first discovered only at Swanson River, further...
It does, actually.
We've got Mondi Paper Mill quite close to us.
It's similar how our town looks like. Yeah, you've got these lovely, beautiful mountains around, and then you and a river. Yeah, and then this monstrous.
That stinks.
Oil deposits were quickly found across the state of Alaska, solidifying the state as a hotspot for one of the most important natural resources in modern times.
And they've got gas.
Of course, like Hawaii, Alaska isn't part of the contiguous United States. No, in a perfect world, it's about 500 miles from the state of Washington, but travel between the lower 48 and Alaska requires passage through Canadian provinces, making that trip from Washington more along the lines of a couple thousand miles in reality. That incredible distance to the lower 48...
That pipeline.
Yeah.
I watch a guy on YouTube called Mav. I should show you the video, actually. He did a road trip in Alaska, and he was showing this pipeline, and it's so freaking long. I'm hoping he's going to say now.
It's a gas line.
Yeah, I can't remember how long it is.
Miles in reality. That incredible distance to the lower 48 necessitated the Trans-Alaskan Pipeline, completed in 1977, but only after a remarkable level of setbacks, pushback, and payoffs. Seriously, I could make an entire video on Alaska's history as the American epicenter for valuable resources. But the point here is that the discovery of significant oil reserves in Alaska largely coincided with the rising popularity of internal combustion engines. With the discovery of oil there happening at a time where lawmakers in Washington, D.C. were already pushing for Alaska to officially join the Union. But this video is about why nobody lives in the state of Alaska, not the state's establishment, so I think we've already spent enough time looking at Alaska's initial settlement. By the year of 1970, Alaska's population had grown from 226,000 residents a decade before to 300,000 residents, with most of those residents living in Alaskan urban cores where the oil and construction economy were thriving. That represents a healthy population growth rate of about 32% from 1960 to 1970. However, even if Alaska had continued growing at such a rapid rate from 1970 to today, the state would still only have a population of about 1.1 million residents. That would be a substantial increase of about 34% compared to the state's actual current population of 732,000 residents, but even then, Alaska would still be one of the least populated U.S. states despite its ginormous size. Of course, that growth rate didn't hold up though, as the state of Alaska is significantly short of even 1 million residents today.
I'm not gonna lie, the more I see Alaska and the more videos we watch and stuff, and especially when we used to watch like The Last Frontier and that, it is quite interesting, and I would maybe like to go and see and visit one day and experience it, but it's just the attraction of living there.
Yeah, I mean, like they do get a harsh weather, isn't it? Long days and long nights, and like the distances you have to make, even like to go shopping and stuff is crazy.
Yeah.
If you live like rurally, but I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Like it fascinates me. Like
you love it.
So like pure.
Yeah, like well, you say that, but it's got gas, oil.
Yeah, but like in a way, people live there. It's like it's not like the city, like it's more like connected with the nature, which.
Like the people who live rurally, you mean? Yeah, I get that. Yeah, and that's the draw for me as well, is because like I was looking before we moved to Slovakia, we were looking at buying a farm in Portugal and going pretty much off grid until COVID happened and we lost everything. But yeah, then we ended up in Slovakia because that's the sort of life I'd like to live. Go back to basics and but we're here
I believe there are several reasons for that. For Alaska's small population and very low population density. I'm sure you already know that much of it comes down to Alaska's geography and climate because, while Alaska's geography and climate differ from region to region, like any place else, On the whole, the state of Alaska is brutally cold and mountainous, with harsh topography that's often frozen and difficult to traverse. With an average statewide temperature range of 0 degrees to negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit from November to March. And Alaska is home to 17 of the 20 tallest mountain peaks in the United States, along with more than 3 million lakes and a whopping 3,000 rivers. Not to mention the significant seismic activity there, something that has made it difficult to build out the state for more than a century now, with Alaska having more earthquakes than any other region.
That's crazy.
Oh, I thought it was like puddle. And then I saw the car.
Imagine if that happens to you. What would you do?
Look, he's like parked there, you know.
Can you lift it up?
I'll just
The
wait.
United States. It isn't just the natural disadvantages that go along with being one of the northernmost major settlements in the world, deeply separated from the rest of the United States, that has limited Alaska's population so severely, though. But before I dive further into why nobody lives in Alaska, I think it's important to look at why 736,000 people do. First,
Yeah.
I would say Alaska offers its residents and businesses some real financial incentives. It's one of only 8 U.S. states without an individual income tax, and the Alaska Permanent Fund literally pays residents just for living there through a small portion of the state's excess annual oil revenues. As Alaska runs at a surplus, a rarity in today's
What happens if that oil revenue dries up, though?
Yeah, I know, but like,
Yeah.
I'm sure people don't live there just for that.
No,
money,
no,
you
because
know?
it's not a
Like,
great deal.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not like life-changing amount of money, but I mean it's handy, isn't it?
Yeah.
its excess annual oil revenues. As Alaska runs at a surplus, a rarity in today's world, and something that provides for less economic concern as residents of several other states are stuck worrying about what their representatives will do to cover rising expenses, while Alaskans are able to collect part of their state's excess investment income every year. Alaska also has a comfortable median household income of about $80,000 and a modest median home price of $338,000.
Wow.
That's because the Alaskan economy does well for itself with tourism, oil and gas, construction, and real estate. In fact, Alaska has a total GDP of nearly $50 billion and the nation's 6th highest per capita GDP of nearly $70,000. Then again, while the numbers in Alaska make a lot of sense, I would argue that it's the state's uniquely beautiful nature, open spaces, and
beautiful.
focus on
Yeah.
personal freedom that attracts more people than anything else. Though I'm sure some folks really just enjoy the Arctic winter. Because while Alaska has more coastline than all of the lower 48 states combined, much of it is frozen. So swimming and sunbathing aren't really the vibe there. No, Alaska's culture is more rugged. And while culture there is generally more regional, I will say that individualism, nature, and recreation are the central themes.
Yeah, you
If you
nailed
would
it.
like to see more of a region,
See, I can just see you going hunting and fishing and bringing me home a caribou
Or moose.
or
Come on.
moose
Come on, kids.
and lots of salmon to
Yeah.
smoke, you know?
Yeah.
I love
I'd need to
smoked
grow
salmon.
I'd need to grow my beard again, wouldn't I?
yeah, yeah, you got the boots,
Oh, true.
so you're
Yeah.
ready to go.
True. Not even close. That winter would kill me. I struggle here in Slovakia. Since the sun has come out, my mood is automatic.
Yeah.
Okay, although my health, I've been a bit rough lately, but my mood, as soon as the sun comes out and it's warmer, I can just sort of feel a bit like less stressed.
Yeah,
So-
I suppose those winter must be like taking
Brutal,
a toll on
brutal.
people, like not to see a sun.
Like I was reading, I don't know if it's the highest, but it's got a really high unaliving yourself. I can't say the
Yeah.
other word because YouTube will. Yeah, but yeah, it's quite got a high
regional
rate.
breakdown of Alaska, where I spend more time talking about livability and opportunity in the state's principal cities, like Anchorage, Fairbanks, and Juneau, please let me
like
know in the
Juneau.
comments section below. While this is the longest video I've ever made here at Something Different Films, I feel like I'm only scratching the surface of America's most unique state. But there are other reasons that Alaska has lost residents from its peak in 2016. That the state has only grown by 2.6% since 2010, and that it's remained one of the least populated places in the U.S. since its founding. And we already talked about the harsh and lengthy winters there, the difficult topography that makes daily life so complicated, and the remoteness of Alaska in general, all of which are important factors to Alaska's limited population for sure. I would argue that it's also Alaska's very late
Throw
start,
some
as
random
it was the
stuff in there.
last U.S. state to join the Union just 63 years ago. It's the fact that much of Alaska's vast landmass is owned by the government, corporate interests, or is unusable due to geographic complications. While affordable housing and good income there can't keep pace with the ever-rising cost of goods due to the complicated nature of shipping and warehousing outside of the traditional grid. Alaska is dark and icy, it lacks city amenities, and the wildlife there isn't always, let's just say, a feature.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It looks really cool, but it's not somewhere I would live.
It's a proper hard life there, I think.
Yeah, and like he said, the things are quite expensive there because of how, like shipping and that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. But then you can think, you sort of realize why the household income is so high when it's gas and oil industry, isn't it? That's I don't know.
I just think it's such a cool place to live.
I'm happy to go one day and visit, but
yeah,
as a tourist,
like. It's like, you can go for a walk just with some grizzlies.
Yeah, get attacked by a bear or a wolf.
Wolves. It's amazing. I think it's amazing.
No, I'm not going to say it's not amazing because it is. And like you say, the lifestyle is perfect for us.
Yeah.
It's just the climate. The winter.
Yeah. See, when morning you can't really go fishing and stuff
my God.
Oh
my God. I mentioned in a few videos that we're getting close to getting our fishing license.
Yeah.
Well, we have got our state fishing license. Yay. But guess what? That means nothing. That literally means nothing. I have to now join a club, take tests before I can even get my license, and Garen has to go to fishing school for a year. He has to go for lessons for a year before we can even go fishing. Unless we want to pay 40 euros a day to go to the lake as tourists on like a tourist card, which we'll probably end up doing because it's such a palaver.
Yeah, I don't understand it why it's so difficult. Why why do they have to do tests? Literally a test.
It's like an exam,
a
written exam.
Which is like, it should be a hobby, like support the hobbies, but it's Slovakia.
Yeah.
So it was...
Garen was very upset.
Two very disappointed people in a house.
Yeah, especially because I'm on the mend now. I mean, I don't know whether you can see on camera, my hands are still so swollen. My knees are in agony from this illness. It's hopefully getting out of me now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was ready to get out there and do some fishing, but alas, we'll have to wait.
Unless you go to Alaska.
Oh, I'm not going there just for fishing. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a fantastic weekend. We may be going live tomorrow night, but I will schedule it because we don't know what we're doing yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will schedule it if we are. And yeah, I want to. It might just be me because I really want to. But yeah, hopefully the kids and that will be at home and we can all go live and have a chat with you guys because I've missed it. It's been a long time, actually. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend and we will see you in the next video.
Bye.